So I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about while I'm driving, and I thought is something that is very interesting that some of you guys might know what it is and some of you guys might not know. But in looking at how bad the drought is here in the area, it's not a zero. I mean, there is crops out there that they're having to water, but for the most part, I mean, it looks like, you know, something out of a, I don't know, man. It looks like it's somewhere in Texas, to be honest with you. And it's 104 degrees right now. That's fucking crazy, man. It's just as hot here as it was when I left Austin, okay, if that tells you anything. But what my point was, is I want you guys to look into weather modification, and it's called geoengineering, and it's called HARRP technology, and I believe it's HARRP technology. And this facility is in Alaska. And let me just tell you what it does really quickly, okay? So, I don't know if you guys have seen, I mean, it'd be hard not to see these, but you know how you'll see in the sky these stripes? You know, they're like solid stripe lines that go through the sky. Those are called chemtrails. And what it is we do have technology that we can create storms. And how this works is that you have the HARRP facility in Alaska that creates energy that with radio frequency, that once the chemtrails are laid down in the sky, they can use the microwave technology to create storms. And so, you know, a lot of them are, you know, what I've researched a lot of times is that these RF frequencies are usually in airports, and they're fed that way and seeded so that it can produce these storms, right? And so I was thinking to myself, why wouldn't they produce any storms here? You know, I mean, that's one of the things, right? California's in a huge drought. There's not any snow caps, you know, it's just, there's not a lot of water here. So that's why I know that my stay here is going to be temporary, because I know eventually they're going to have to close down the Silicon Valley. And I know this sounds crazy, but just stay with me for a second. So going back to the drought and going back to why isn't it raining when they've got this technology, right? And let's not forget one important thing that's going on in Japan, which no one is talking about it here in the States. You know, it's like it's the plague to talk about. But in case you guys weren't aware, which, you know, I hope most of you know about this, but if you don't, then you also need to look into this also, which is, you know, Fukushima is in Japan, and they had 4 reactors that were breached during the tsunami that hit in, I think it was 2011. I think that's when it was. And that's what made me wake up was, you know, those reactors, because it's way worse than, you know, Chernobyl. You know what I mean? It's way worse. And they haven't been able to really fully fix these reactors because it's too dangerous for humans. to go into those facilities to clean it up, you know. And a lot of those plutonium rods, the reactor blew up when the tsunami first hit. It threw all those plutonium rods into the ocean. And so, you know, in the Bible it talks about the waters becoming sour. And I believe once that happened in Fukushima, that's what caused our waters to become sour in the Pacific Ocean, because of all of our animals, that there's a big die-off that's been going on, you know, all over the Pacific Ocean. But reason why they're not getting the rain seeded here with the weather modification is because of the radiation. Because if they created storms here in California, you know, with the element of radiation going on, it being closer to Japan, it would completely make everybody fucking sick, you know? I mean, we all live in a bubble anyway, but that would totally ruin our crops, you know? And I understand why they wouldn't want to jeopardize our crops with not allowing the rain to come in and do its job, which so we can produce, you know, tons more crops and stuff. It's really scary, you know. But anyway, I want you guys to check into HARRP technology and chemtrails. And you know, I've done a lot of research on this, and I'm not an expert at it, but I would consider myself knowledgeable about it. And believe it or not, we do have the technology to create weather. And that's why we're not getting any rain here, is because of the radiation. So, and I am not a believer in global warming, so I think that's a hoax, and that's just my opinion. But there you have it. Bye, guys.